giving me this wonderful opportunity. I pray to all of you to please kindly bless me so that I can speak the message the way it is supposed to be, as said by our prayers. So today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam 4:17-29 text onwards. Let's offer our prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Nashtuprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we are reading from text 29. Mother Earth is speaking. Dharo Vacha Nama Parasmahe Purushaya Mayaya Vinyasta Nana Tanave Ganatmane Nama Swarupanubhavena Nirdota Dravya Kriya Karka Vibhora Maya. Translation given by Srila Prabhupada. The planet Earth spoke, "My dear Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are transcendental in your position and your material energy, and by your material energy you have expended yourself in various forms and species of life through the interaction of the three modes of the material nature. Unlike some other masters, you always remain in your transcendental position and are not affected by the material creation, which is subject to different material interaction. Consequently, you are not bewildered by material activities." Purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. After King Prathu gave his royal command, the planet Earth in the shape of cow could understand that the king was a direct empowered incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the king knew everything, past, present, and future. Thus, there was no possibility of the earth's cheating him. The earth was accused of hiding the seeds and all herbs and grains, and therefore she is preparing to explain how the seeds of these herbs and the grains can be again exposed. The earth knew that king was very angry with her, and she realized that unless she pacified his anger, there was no possibility of placing a positive program before him. Therefore, in the beginning of her speech, she very humbly presents herself as a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's body. She submits that the various bodily forms manifest in the physical world are but different parts and parcel of the supreme gigantic body. It is said that the lower planetary systems are the parts and parcel of the legs of the Lord, whereas the upper planetary systems are the part and parcels of Lord heads. The Lord creates this material world by his external energy, but the external energy is one sense not different from him. Yet at the same time, Lord is not directly manifest in the external energy, but is always situated in the spiritual energy, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 9:10. Maya dakshekena prakrite. Material nature is working under direct direction of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is not unattached to the external energy, that, and he is at rest in us as Guna Atma, the source of the three modes of the material nature, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 10:15. Nirgunam Guna Bhoktaha cha. Although the Lord is not attached to the external energy, he is nonetheless the master of it. The philosophy of Lord Chaitanya upholding that the Lord is simultaneously one and different from his creation, Achint Abheda Veda Tattva, is very easily understandable here in this connection. The planet Earth explained that although the Lord is attached to the external energy, he is Nirdhuta. He is completely free from the activities of the external energy. The Lord is situated in his internal energy. Therefore, in this verse, it is stated, Swarupa Anubhavena. The Lord remains completely in his internal potency, yet has full knowledge of external energy as well as the internal energy. Just as his devotee remain always in the transcendental position, keeping him in the service of the Lord without becoming attached to the material body. Sri Rupa Goswami says that the devotees who is always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is always liberated, regardless of the material situation. If it is possible for a devotee to remain transcendental, it is certainly possible for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to remain in his eternal potency without being attached to the external potency. There should be no difficulty in understanding this situation. Just as a devotee is never bewildered by the material body, the Lord is never bewildered by the external energy of this material world. A devotee is not hampered by the material body, although he is situated in the physical body that run according to so many material conditions. For example, there are 5 kinds of air functioning within the body, and there are so many organs: hands, legs, tongues, genital, rectum, etc., all working differently. The spirit soul, the living entity, is in full knowledge of his position, is always engaged in chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and is not concerned with the bodily functions. Although the Lord is connected with the material world, he is always situated in this spiritual energy and is always unattached to the functions of the material world. As far as the material body is concerned, there are 6 waves or symptomatic material condition: hunger, thirst, lamentation, bewilderment, old age, and death. The liberated soul is never concerned with these 6 physical interactions. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being all powerful master of all energies, has some connection with the external energies, but he is always free from the interaction of the external energy in the material world. Text 30, I will read the translation. The planet Earth continued, O my dear Lord, you are complete conductor of the material creation. You have created this cosmic manifestation and the 3 modes of the material qualities, and therefore you have created me, the planet Earth, the resting place of all living entities. Yet you are always fully independent, my Lord. Now that you are present before me and ready to kill me with your weapons, let me know where I should go to take the shelter and tell me who can give me protection. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The planet herein exhibits the symptoms of full surrender before the Lord. As stated, no one can protect a person from Krishna, whom Krishna is prepared to kill, and no one can kill the person whom Krishna protects. Because the Lord was prepared to kill the planet Earth, there was no one to her. We are all receiving protection from Lord, and it is therefore proper that everyone of us surrender unto him. In Bhagavad Gita 1866, the Lord instructs, Sarvadharman paritejya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshami ashi mashuchaha. Abandon all activities of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, my dear Lord, whatever I have, even my mind, which is the center of the material necessities, namely my home, my body, whatever I have in connection with this body, now I surrender unto you. You are now completely independent to act however you like. If you like, you can kill me. If you like, you can save me. In any case, I am your eternal servant, and you have every right to do whatever you like. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurume Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpad Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaguna Lalita Shri Vitakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhai Vacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vishtabhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavada Paschat Istarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur. So text 29 is talking about the planet Earth, making prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that and glorifying Lord. Yesterday, we were talking about in the text when Ram Hari Prabhu was uh, explaining the text that Mother Earth had developed pride. Pride comes as a feeling of possession of something. When one considers the possessor of something, then one exhibits the symptoms of pride. That could be knowledge, beauty, wisdom, renunciation, and all the opulences, six opulences which Lord has: uh, beauty, fame, knowledge, power, wealth, renunciation. Any of these one has, or one of more these has a possession. One thinks I am a possessor of something and feels proud about that. Even exhibiting that I'm not proud of anything is a pride in itself. So somebody may come and say, oh, I don't have pride. So that is pride actually. That I don't have pride of renunciation. Pride makes a person arrogant, makes him or her forget the duties. That's the nature of the pride. When pride comes, people don't do what they are supposed to do. They become arrogant. There are certain people who are expert in their areas, in their job, but then they have an attitude. We say that that person has an attitude. The person will not talk very politely with others. Will talk harshly. Will use some harsh words, or will not pay attention, will not be looking towards the person when the person is talking, and exhibits all kind of things which are not considered as the appropriate etiquette of conversation or exhibition. Now is appearing that she is neglectful of her duties of providing the grains, and that was the reason for agitating Prithu Maharaj, who is the incarnation of Lord, and is angry on Mother Earth, who is in the form of the cow. The opposite of being pride is become humble, and anybody would become humble when there's a situation of distress, or a situation of frustration, or a situation of helplessness. That is a natural situation where everybody becomes humble, and then they realize that one should be doing, what one should not be doing. Immediately they remind of all the virtues, and the reality, and entire knowledge comes in that person automatically, immediately. It's not that they do not know it, it's that they don't pay attention to it and do not consider to that. In certain situations, these rightful attitude and the humbleness and the correct knowledge comes for a moment, but then it is been overtaken up again by the modes of the material nature. That doesn't happen to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now Mother Earth is feeling very humble, because the situation here is that she is going to be killed by Lord, and she doesn't feel any hope that anybody can save her now, because Lord has now decided to kill her. And somebody who has been decided by Krishna to be killed, nobody can save that person. We have seen a lot of examples, and the greatest example here is of Hiranyakashipu, who tried to put all sort of constraints and conditions in which the death could come, but he was not saved. On the other hand, uh, uh, Prahlad Maharaj was being inflicted to all kind of situations where death could not be avoided, but he was not uh, killed by any of those situations, because Krishna wanted to protect. So two extreme examples where it's clearly exhibit that one who's supposed to be killed by Krishna, or Krishna has decided that for a person, could not be saved. It's a natural way, and the Vedic way also, that when we feel humble, we express our uh, minuteness in front of the person to whom we are feeling humble. It doesn't mean we are disrespecting anyone. It's giving respect to other person. So that's the Vedic way also. When we interact with uh, personalities who are superior, the one has to go in a submissive way, in a mood of awe and reverence, and in a prayerful mood, in a polite way. Now here, the cow, mother cow, is talking to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the topmost Purusha, the supreme authority. So she is now feeling herself in a situation where she is under death and could not avoid her. And in such situation, the humility from inside comes, the pride is going away, because anything of the possession which she has is now making no sense to her. So she said that I'm gonna support all the individuals, and if you're going to kill me, what's going to happen? And Prithu Maharaj clearly told that don't worry about it. Even if you are not there, I can take care of everybody, and I can support them. We were talking about that yesterday. So her basic uh, objective, which was being supporting of the humans in the space is concerned, was being rejected by Lord. The second thing was that she is giving the grains and shelter, and she knew that Supreme Personality of Godhead can make all arrangements. It's the duty which is being given to Mother Earth, but doesn't mean that God cannot do that on his own accord with the dependency of Mother. No, that is an incorrect understanding, and she could understand that now. Because if Prithu Maharaj has decided, or God has decided to kill someone, that's very clear that he's not dependent on that personality whatsoever. The function of that personality is. It's just like, a person is working in a company. The person may think I'm a very important asset to the company and may develop a sort of pride. But when he gets a red slip or pink slip, which clearly said that you're no more required in the organization, it's very clear that organization is capable of running without that person. The organization is not dependent on person, although in a way it is dependent on the person as well, but just not one person. If one person goes away, somebody else will come and fulfill that authority role. And even if that role is not fulfilled, the company will still run. The operations will still happen. So Supreme Personality of Godhead is in that position where without any dependency, he can execute everything on his own accord. That is why he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's a Purna, complete in himself. That's what we were talking about. And has no dependency for anybody else, no matter whatsoever the case is. So Mother Cow is now glorifying to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, stating that you are a transcendental in your position, and your material energy, you have expended yourself into various forms and species of life through the interaction of the three modes of the material nature. Masters, you remain in your transcendental position and not affected by the material creation. Just like a spider makes a web, and in that web, all other insects will be trapped, but the spider doesn't get trapped in its own web. The spider is always free to move in the web where and there, but if any other insect would just come, the insect will be trapped in the web. And the spider has another attribute, that the spider takes out that liquid or saliva with which the web is made, and when she has to unwind, the spider will take that web back inside. It will be consumed within the spider. The spider will eat that, or whatever we can say. Similarly is the material creation. It emanates from the Supreme Personality and goes back, and it comes out with the material nature, but Lord is not affected by that mode of material nature. Just like the spider is the creator of the web, but doesn't get entrapped in the material modes of that web. Similarly, Lord doesn't get entrapped in the material creation, and Mother Earth knows that, and that's why she is glorifying the Lord. That is being humble. Being humble means surrender to someone and glorify the attributes of others, and showing that we are insignificant. Not showing for pride, but showing it that as an understanding. And we all know that, right? People have a tendency to go a little higher on the speed when they're on highway, or to keep up with the traffic. But as soon as they will see a cop, it doesn't matter what is the speed of other cars. Immediately their car speed will come in the speed limit, just by seeing the cop. Now here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is with bow and arrow and killing Mother Earth. It's not just like being present there, but he's killing. So we can understand that, what is the situation of Mother Earth. It's just like we were over speeding, and now the cop has put the lights and siren behind us and is stopping us. Now what the person will do? The person at that time will try to avoid all sort of things, and tell the cop, yes, I understand, you're right, I'm sorry, this and that, and try to avoid the extent of the ticket, right? Sometimes people will plead to the cops to tell him that, okay, if they can be a little merciful, probably not give any point, just give a non-moving violation on the ticket. If you have not experienced that, is very good. But if you have experienced ever that or heard that from someone who has experienced, I can say that you can understand what I'm talking about. So being humble means realizing that we are nowhere, and that makes us humble. That whatever the possessions which we have, what we think about that is useless. A person might be having a nice car and feeling pride, but if somebody else brings a very more experienced and uh, luxurious car in front of that person, people feel embarrassed, right? Whenever we are going out in our social circle, people tend to present themselves in the best way. And nowadays, the best way the expression of best way is with the nice clothes, with a nice phone, the latest gadgets. And if somebody goes with the latest model of the iPhone, which they think is in their possession, and feel pride of that, and then go out and see somebody else having a better model and a newer model, they feel, oh, he is a better phone, right? So they think inside that, oh, he is greater than me. But that is the material understanding. That material understanding of he is greater than me is because of the enviousness. People are envious of others having more possessions than themselves, and that's what the feeling is there, and they feel inside jealous that, oh, I should have better than him. However, here the situation is spiritual. In the spiritual world, humbleness and surrender actually means recognizing the supreme position, understanding the difference that God is infallible, we are fallible. Because of that, we are here, and we are being into the contact with the material modes of nature, which is actually causing us all the pains. Now here Mother Earth is now understanding that all sort of explanation and acts is not going to save her, or maybe able to make her cheat with the Lord. She is going to be killed, and that's why she now understands that I have no place to go anywhere. So that's making Mother Earth humble. At the time of death, people think all sort of right things. uh, Parikshit Maharaj exhibited that, not because he was humble at the time of death, but he wanted to set an example that when you know that your life is going to end, and that is the biggest pride we have, that I am a being, I am having control. All the possessions a person has about which the pride is there, the person is ready to give at the to get the life back. People spend their whole life earning money, and then they spend the whole money getting their life back. That's the pity situation in this material world. A person will spend hours over timing, sacrificing the aspects of the life the person should be spending the time in to earn money, and then later the person spends all the money to get that time back, right? I haven't enjoyed my life. My skin is going bad, and they spend the money to get their skin back, their youth back, their all enjoyments and everything. So, same is the situation here in the material world with every one of us. So, Mother Earth here is now knowing that there is no way to cheat Lord, and then now she has to surrender. So, in a prayerful mood, she is glorifying Lord. Uh, Not glorifying to express her understanding only, but to confirm that her understanding also aligned with the Shastras, because what she's speaking is what the Shastras talks about. There's nothing different which is coming out. Like Krishna has made the material energy, like Bhagavad Gita 9:10 is saying, Maya Dakshena Prakriti. The material nature is working under the direction of God. Everybody knows that, but this knowledge is coming from the scriptures. It's not just a realization coming in at the moment. Also, 13:15 talks about Nirguna Guna Bhakta. Guna means qualities, and Guna means the mode of material nature. There are two meanings of the word Guna. So Nirguna, Nir means without. Now here Nirguna doesn't mean that Lord is without any qualities. Nirguna means Lord is not affected by the modes of material nature. He is independent of the mode of the material nature. He's the creator of the modes of material nature, and we are under the influence of modes of material nature, and because of that we act whimsically. When we are in a mode of ignorance, we totally reject God and get involved into sense gratification. And a person who might be in the mode of goodness probably will live little more austere life. Charity will be done, and recognition of the presence and existence of the Lord would be there, or person would be involved in the pious activities. Even that is still considered as to be in the mode of goodness. But being in devotion, being in bhakti, means to be transcendental, to be above the modes of the material nature. One has to transcend the modes of the material nature, where one has to come out of the pious activities, one has to come out of all things where something good or bad comes, because all that leads to come back to the same thing. So planet Earth explains that although the Lord is, attached to the energy, he is not influenced by it. He is nirodha. He is completely free from the activities of the external energy. And also, Krishna has been referred here in this, a verse as Nama Swarupena Swarupa Anubhavena. So Swarupa means the original form. Rupa means form. Swa means own. Its own original form. When something is its own, it's original. Anubhavena means by understanding. So Mother Earth is offering namaha, means obeisances. Why? Swarupa Anubhavena. So after understanding the Supreme Lord's position, Mother Earth is saying to the Lord that I am offering my obeisances. It's not that I am doing it just to save my life. So that's a very important aspect here to understand, that uh, the surrender to the Lord should come after understanding. Initially, it might be, based on what we see, the understanding might not be there, but finally, we have to reach that stage where uh, obeisances are being paid, like, Swarupa Bhavina, when we really understand that. So, just a material, analogy. There's a joke, the person used to laugh on everything 3 times. So, somebody will tell a joke, the person will laugh. And somebody asked him that, why do you laugh 3 times? He said that first time I laugh because everybody else is laughing. If I don't laugh, people will think that I have not understood the joke and consider me fool, which is obvious. People will say, oh, he doesn't even understand the joke. Okay, he said that, okay, I understand why do you laugh, the first time, but what is the reason for laughing the second time? He said, it's natural when you understand the joke, you cannot stop your laughter. So that's very obvious. And then he said, okay, I understand that also. Then why did you laugh the third time? He said, the third time, the reason I laughed was that my first laugh was totally foolish, stupid decision. I didn't understand and I was laughing. So I was regretting and laughing on myself that what mistake I am doing. So same is the situation here with us. We don't understand the Lord, but yes, we can still laugh and express our understanding to the Lord, and slowly and gradually we will understand the supreme position. And when we understand the Swarup, then Nama comes Anubhavena. Then by understanding, we always pay honor to the Lord, because we now realize that we don't stand anywhere. The pride goes, the cleansing happens. So there's no harm in continuing the practice while being in the modes of the material nature, but slowly and gradually we can reach to a stage where the purification will come. Towards the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada is talking about there should be no difficulty in understanding this situation. A devotee is never bewildered by the material body. The material body is given to the devotee as well as to many others. The difference is the devotee doesn't get affected by the material body. 5 kind of functioning airs, apan, pran, and all those things. Somebody who's very good in yoga may know that. So all these airs in the body, they control the function of movement, digestion, and all sort of things which are happening. So the 5 kinds of air are in the portion of chest, abdomen, lower abdomen, and forehead and all. The idea is not to go into technicality because of those things, but to understand that the material body of a devotee and a material body of a non-devotee, they might have similar way. They both have hand, legs, genitals, tongues, and needs. But the devotee indulges into a different kind of lifestyle, and a non-devotee indulges with the same body in a different kind of lifetime. When somebody asked to Srila Prabhupada that, Srila Prabhupada, how is it possible for a person who is a grasta or is a material person to be devoid of the chanting of the Hare Krishna. I mean, to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, devoid of the consideration of the material aspects, and totally get absorbed. Srila Prabhupada said that that is not possible. Continue with both, really, and gradually the cleansing will happen. And slowly the detachment will occur. When you will understand and realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that will automatically happen. Just like a person cannot restrain himself or herself after they get the meaning of the joke, right? So that analogy was material, but makes it understand that when we understand the reality, the reaction is obvious. As far as the material is concerned, there are six waves or the symptomatic material condition: hunger, thirst, lamentation, bewilderment, old age, and death. Yes, everybody experiences that. A liberated soul is never concerned with these six physical interactions. The person is actually focusing and considers that this is a phase of the material body. It has been given. It will come here. It will go away. But the real purpose is to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Text 30, I'll just talk about a little bit about that as well. The planet Earth continued with the same mood. Mother Earth is saying that you are the complete conductor of the material creation. We a little bit touched about that, that the web comes out of the spider and goes back. The whole material cosmic creation is created by Lord. We have read that in Bhagavatam as well. The whole creation comes out from the Lord, and modes of the material natures also come, and everybody is controlled by the modes of the material nature because they are in Maya. So she is explaining to Lord, rather requesting to Lord, that you are my creator. Like, if you have now decided to kill me, then where should I go and take the shelter? Krishna, you are the one. If you decide to kill someone, nobody can save. So I'm helpless. I'm surrendering. And you are fully independent of me and rather anyone else as well. So you don't need me. You have the complete right to kill me. So now she is surrendering. Srila Prabhupada in the purport is giving the reference for 1866 that the best way to get out of the clutches of the Maya is to surrender to Lord. Sarv dharman paritejyo. Reject everything, all dharmas. Dharma actually here means the activities, not the religion, dharma. So we may follow Hinduism, Jainism, that is a faith, that is a religion. But this religion is the natural conduct of activities. Like if I talk about fire, fire burns. That is the dharma of fire. Knife or sword cuts. That is the dharma of the sharp objects. Uh, so the dharma of the human being is to serve. Everybody is serving to get the pleasure. Either they serve themselves or they serve their country, family. The service is to be provided in order to get a pleasure. So sarv dharman means all kind of false activities which we execute because of the identity we put on ourselves. That's our problem basically. So if I think I am a father, I will do the activities of a father. If I think I am an employee, I do the activities of an employee. If I do I am a self being, I do the activity of pleasing myself. If I think I am a devotee, I do the activities of the devotee. So my dharma actually comes based on the identity I have, and the identity which I wear exhibits my behavior. So it is very important for us to understand what is our real identity. Our real identity is the servant of God. And when we address that, Sarv Dharman Paritejyo means abandon all dharma. To abandon all dharma, we have to get rid of all the identities, false identities which we have. So we have to understand our real identity. Once we do that, the activities will get aligned. So that's another important thing I just wanted to say here. Mam ekam sharanam raja. I'm the only place to surrender, to take shelter. So she's saying that Krishna, you are the only place to take shelter now. Nobody is going to kill me, and I'm taking your shelter. And you yourself say that Sarv Dharman Paritejyo. So if I abandon all thing and take your shelter, you will get rid me of all my sinful actions. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshyami ashuchaha. And Krishna is saying there's no fear. I'll get you rid of all the sinful actions you have done so far if you completely surrender onto me. So that's a very big statement. In Shiksha Ashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also saying the same thing in the last verse, that you are my Lord birth after birth. Do whatever you want to do with me. You want to save me, you want to kill me, you want to abuse me, treat it like the way you want to me. You are my Lord. So if you want to kill me, you can kill me. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also saying the same thing. Srila Prabhupada is confirming in his purport that that's what is going to happen here. So surrender unto Lord is the key to get rid of all the problems in our life which we have, the material life. And if we are getting miseries in our life, it's an indication that God is giving some touch of His presence to us. Uh, the frustration in the life actually is causing us to go towards Krishna. The presence of a cop on the road makes us nervous when we are overspeeding. That person comes into the right speed and starts following all the rules. Uh, that means he's a good driver, right? So same in the life, on the highway of the life, if we see the representations of the authority who are our spiritual masters, one should take the shelter. In the text 29, Mother Earth was saying that you are not like the other masters. Unlike some other masters, you always remain in your transcendental position. So there are some masters who don't remain in their transcendental positions. Those masters are false gurus, pseudo gurus. This whole world is afflicted by people who try to claim themselves to be God and exhibit that I am your authority, please accept me and follow me. One has to be very careful of such gurus and authorities, that one doesn't need to go involved into incorrect things. Those people at some point in time exhibit all the qualities of a sadhu, but later on, at some point in time, then they will not maintain that. When we have seen many instances of such gurus everywhere, newspaper, TV, internet, everywhere. There's a whole um, market of ample amount of gurus in India if you go. Uh, so the point with or the take home of these two verses, which I have understood, is that yes, there are situations when we get into the modes of the material nature, we get influenced because we are the jivas, we are part and parcels of Lord. We are transcendental, but we don't understand our transcendental position. Under the influence of Maya, we get drifted away. Maya is again the energy of Lord, which tries to keep us, in the material world, because that's the objective of Maya. Maya actually tests us. Are we eligible to go back to Supreme Personality of Godhead? So Maya is a very favorable in the spiritual towards our spiritual journey, and Maya is a obstruction in the spiritual journey. How these two things are contrary to each other at the same time true, I can explain that with an example. What I'm trying to say: a person, there's a hurdle race, right? Hurdle race is a race where the athlete is running, and then on the way there are obstructions. There are some bars being placed at a height, and while running, the athlete has to jump over that bar to win the race. An athlete who wants to practice while running and make himself excel than others will try to raise the bar so that the challenge is more and he's able to overcome a little more challenge than normally, which is the standard. So if I'm running a bar over which is, let's say, 2 feet high, and I make it 2.5 feet, and I'm able to do that, that means two would be easier for me. But there's some person who has not practiced. For him, even 1.5 feet will be a problem. They will stuck into that. They will fail. All sort of problem will come. So these hurdles are Maya. Now, is it an obstruction? It is an obstruction if we don't have the faith in the process. If we are in the material world, then Maya attracts us. And we take the excuse of that, and I am under the influence of Maya. A lot of devotees have this, tendencies that when you meet them, oh Prabhu, I am under the influence of Maya. Maya is not, you are not under the influence of Maya. Please correct yourself. You can use Maya to overcome your challenges and get more surrenders onto the Lord. So I'm not criticizing anyone here, but I'm just trying to say that when we speak something, we should understand that how we can utilize that thing in service of Lord. So Maya can be a hurdle, and an athlete could actually use more hurdles and practice better to survive when he goes into the real challenge. And that's what devotees do. So whenever they have miseries in their life, they get to see Lord more often. Queen Kunti exhibited that. She prayed to the Lord that, Lord, you are giving me miseries, but anytime you are giving me miseries, I'm coming more closer to you. I get more realizations about you. So please give me more miseries so that I can know you better. I can get more closer to you. The point I'm trying to say is that let's not invite troubles in our life. Srila Prabhupada has given a process to us that we can, without any trouble, understand the existence of Lord. We have Srimad Bhagavatam, we have a nice forum of the Bhakti Sangha group, which every morning and throughout the day making all enablements for us to get this understanding without going to a position where we get frustrated and then realize that, I'm on a highway where the driving speed is about like not more than 70 miles an hour. Why to go to a situation where we are trapped by the cops and then we have to make a plea to the cops or run to the court and settle our tickets and then learn our lesson that yes, I have to drive 70 miles an hour. Bhakti Sangha people are there on the entire highway putting the signboards and telling, and they are forcefully implicating on us that Prabhu, please drive 70 miles an hour. But it's up to us if we don't take the advantage. So I'll kind of like pause here to reflect that what we have just talked about quickly to summarize, what is the take home. So we just read text 29 and 30. Situation is that Mother Earth is on the verge of being getting killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She realizes she was in pride and now humbles herself. After getting humbled, she is praying to the Lord, glorifying the Lord, showing her the magnanimity of the Lord and her minuteness, and feeling humble and expressing that, what is her understanding based on the Shastras and how Lord is different from the Jivas. So she is glorifying to the Lord that He is the creator of everything. He is transcendental, controller of the material modes, creator of the material modes, still not impacted by the material modes of nature. He is Atmaram, He is fully surrendered. He's the controller of the material energy. He's not infected. He's nirguna, and she's offering the obeisances after understanding that not just in an act of copying someone and showing someone. Towards the end of the purport, we talked about that how a person who is still afflicted of Maya can go out of the Maya, and by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can get free from the 5 or 6 waves of the trouble with this material body. And even being in a material body in a material world, we can still go and understand the supreme energy and get connected to the supreme energy. Then we talked about in text 30 that further based on uh, you know the position of the Lord, that although He is the resting position of everyone, but He is still giving the protection, and He is prepared to kill Mother Earth. Mother Earth is asking for shelter. So there's no other place for us to take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord or the lotus feet of the Guru. And Prabhupada used to say lotus feet means a person. There could not just be a lotus feet without a person. So if you have to serve the lotus feet of someone, means you have to understand that personality and completely serve him, not just the lotus feet. Means okay, forget about Guru and Krishna, what he's speaking and what he needs, just serve the lotus feet. No, the serving of the lotus feet means serve the person. Feet means person. So that understanding has to be there, and then sarvdharman paritejo, surrender all the activities, so all the false dharma. False dharma comes because of the false identity or our understanding of the ego. So we have to drop that. Naturally, when we drop all egos, we become humble, and when we become humble, we realize who we are, and our true self is the servant of Lord. And if we follow that, we take the shelter of the Supreme Lord, then is the way that we will be delivered from all the sinful activities. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshyasiyami ma suchaha. Do not fear. There's a guarantee from Krishna. He's endorsing, his statement that my shelter is the place where you can get free from all sinful reactions. So with that note, I'll just conclude and see if anybody has some corrections or comments to make to fulfill what I've misspoken or probably underspoken. So please forgive me for that. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for your uh, time to listen patiently to me and giving me this opportunity to speak. All glories to our Guru Maharajas who have made that effort and made the entire Krishna conscious so simple. All glories to Srila Prabhupada for giving all those examples and exhibiting the simplicity of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Mataji, if I understand correctly, please confirm that my understanding of your question is correct. That you're saying that, based on a video, how do we see that? Although the video is materially made, but how do we take a lesson to implement that in our Krishna conscious life and exhibit that as an example to conduct right behavior between husband and wife? Is that what the question is? Okay. So, what we see in something depends on the angle and the eyes we are putting to see in that. uh, Srila Prabhupada was standing on a bus stand in UK. It was a cold winter morning and he was waiting for a bus in London to go from one place to another, and he has a brahmachari with him. And on the opposite side of the bus stand there was a lady who was standing, and she was appearing a very glamorous lady in a very cold weather. She was wearing a very short skirt showing her beauty and the skin and body to attract probably the opposite sex. And Srila Prabhupada was looking at that lady and smiling. Now what could we think about that, right? So based on the view we have in our mind, we will judge Srila Prabhupada. I mean, that's materially we do. I'm not talking about the people here, but in general, people will not hesitate judging anyone. So people can judge Srila Prabhupada also. Somebody may say that, oh, Srila Prabhupada is now looking at the girl and getting attracted. And the brahmachari who was with Srila Prabhupada, he was looking to Srila Prabhupada, that Srila Prabhupada is looking to girl, and was little smiling. And before he could ask anything, Srila Prabhupada spoke, that is determination. Now, what does we make out of it? So Srila Prabhupada said that, in an extreme cold weather, the objective of that lady is to exhibit her attraction, and she's ready to sacrifice the clothes, exposing her skin, bearing the cold wind, doing the austerity to make please someone towards her. Now, Srila Prabhupada says that determination we should have to serve Krishna. Now, showing a female, if I put this video as an example, is it a material video or it's a spiritual video? Let me say I replace Srila Prabhupada with some other person, and the thought is coming out. So the idea of this example me giving here is to understand that what we see, everything is material, right? iPhone is material, uh, a video recorder is material, this whole conference thing is material. It depends on the use, what you use it for. You can use it for material use, you can use it for spiritual use. You can relate everything to Krishna, you can relate everything away from Krishna. It depends on the purview we have and the knowledge we have. So I can take that video as a lesson learned and understand and I may reject it. It depends on me, not on the person who has created. The person's intention is little different. He has exhibited that, and as you said, that is a brahmachari, and he has already talking and explaining that what is the objective of this video. It's up to us, how we take that, whether we criticize it. Oh, no, 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 this is not Krishna service. So how can I use my iPhone in Krishna service? How can I use my laptop in Krishna service? I can use it to watch a porn, or I can use to watch a lecture. Is the problem of laptop? It's my problem how I understand the things. So, in my opinion, everything is created by Krishna. Everything and anything can be used in service of Krishna. The things which are not favorable can be used in service of Krishna to explain that these are the wrong things, and the things which are favorable for spiritual practice can be utilized in service of Krishna to support that everything is for Krishna. And somebody has any other opinion or addition, feel free to add me and correct me. But that will be my response in dealing with those situations. I don't know whether it satisfies you or no. Try to make you clear what I'm trying to say. So it depends, Mataji, what class the person is suitable to sit in. The person who is trying to learn the Krishna consciousness might be a beginner, maybe a pre-school student, maybe a middle school student, maybe a high school student, maybe a graduate, or maybe a philosopher who has done PhD. Based on what is the caliber, the preaching should be modified, and the message is still the same, but the way we teach may be different. So, if I talk about the concepts of gravity to a person who is a new versus a person who is a a PhD, the detail of gravity, the detail of motions, and detail of anything would be different. So if somebody asks me what is a computer, I can explain that it's a device which is electronically working on so and so things and help for us. If a person who is already a computer engineer, if I talk to them in that language, he will not accept it. So I have to talk to him about more details and the integrated circuit inside the computer, and the RAM, and what kind of RAM, and speed of RAM, and disk, and all those kind of things. So preaching is depending upon the caliber of the person to understand, and in that way we should give. And second thing, as you said, that when it is coming from a brahmachari or all, Srila Prabhupada in the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita has given a very good way to identify that you should accept the teaching from somebody who is a bona fide guru. For being a bona fide guru, there are two essential things. The person has to be connected in Guru Parampara. The second thing, the person has to repeat what the Parampara is saying. There is no additional understanding or alteration. So if those things are matching, then we should accept that. If not, then probably we can discuss with somebody senior and ask that, I see difference. Please explain me. Is it me who is seeing the difference, or is the things is correct? And based on the outcome, we can take our next course of action. Yeah, Mataji, that's true, but yeah, we have to face all kind of situations, so, and learn. Yeah, so I think, sometimes we are not able to handle the things on our own. Practically, we have to see if there are situations, and it depends on the person also. If somebody is arguing in a challenging way, then, we should not preach to that person. If somebody is arguing in a submissive way, then yes, the person would come to, even if I'm not able to explain, I can take him to my guru or somebody senior if he's really interested. But I should be able to judge what is the objective of the person. Sometimes people get indulge in discussion just to take our time, waste our time, and ninth offense is they do not preach a person who doesn't have the faith. So we have to understand that we have to discriminate that. That is very essential thing. Discrimination doesn't mean that we have to filter out based on our understanding, but based on the situation, we have to see who is favorable, who is not favorable, and then that is how the handling should be done. Thank you, Mataji. Nice question. Hare Krishna, Mataji. So Haridas Thakur was being exposed to Maya in a form of prostitute. He could have a choice to enjoy. There's a pastime where there was a prostitute sent to Haridas Thakur. So prostitute is Maya. It depends on a person. How do you deal with that person? So Maya can be taken up to get away, leave the chanting and enjoy with the woman. And Haridas Thakur took the advantage of the woman and said that, okay, let me chant my rounds and complete, and then I will come and enjoy you. He didn't say no. He said, I'll enjoy you, I'll satisfy you. Let me get indulged. So he was afraid of that Maya and he tried to take that situation to chant more intensely. What was the impact of that? Maya got converted to his disciple. So is Maya an obstruction? I think Maya is a tool. Maya came to see Haridas Thakur. He interacted with Maya in a very different way, took it as an opportunity to intense more chantly, so much so that not only he got benefited, but even the Maya also got benefited. That prostitute become his disciple. So that's one example I can show, Mataji. I mean, how it can be used. I hope that answers your questions, if it makes sense. Not currently in my mind, Mataji. I'll have to look into that. And one other example comes to me is of Dhruva Maharaj. So he was being allured by Maya, and he tried to go and wanted to get a kingdom bigger than his father. So that was a total material desire, and he went to Krishna and asked that, but he got a spiritual benefit so much so that he has his own planet, Dhruva planet, which doesn't even get destroyed when the whole material cosmic creation goes off. So that's another example which I can say comes to my mind. So Maya comes in various ways, and we can find more examples. I don't have them at top of my mind right now, but yes, our scripture is full of situations like that where people get attracted towards material, and then they get ultimately towards spiritual. So yes, there would be many, but not at this moment. I can search for and let you know probably. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, we are at the time. Like people probably will need to go to office, get ready. Kalpatribhyascha kripa sindhubha evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaja. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for patiently listening and giving this opportunity.